Thursday podcast.
They just keep coming over and over and over and over.
Fucking want it or not, we're here. Coming back every week.
Just like hope. Hey, this is number 53, Derek.
Number 553.
5-3.
I don't know why I keep repeating myself.
I don't know. You got fucking hiccups or what?
I do not. I
No
should. How much
hiccups?
beers I've drank tonight.
I'm also drinking a beer. What are you sipping on over there, Derek?
Oh man, a fine filter a fine Pilsner beer.
Mm.
Miller Lite. Miller
I was
Lite.
gonna say I had a clue there. Then I looked at it and I was like, "Yep."
I can't even read right now.
Definitely one of Derek's go-tos if you don't know him very well. Usually find it a Miller Lite or a Natty in his hand.
That's
one or the other.
That is an accurate
or a nice craft beer. You know, there's really no happy medium.
Depending on my mood. Usually during the week, I stick to my domestics. It's when I get on the weekends when I start drinking craft because I get a little tore up on craft beer.
Well, you got to treat yourself. You know, it's the weekend.
Treat yourself.
You got to treat yourself. During the week, you got to be economical. Go to work, come home, do shit around the house.
Yeah, when I start getting them high percentage beers, that's when I start getting in trouble.
Well, yeah, you need some recovery time.
Lots of fucking trouble.
Big time recovery time needed for those. Well, before we get into much, Derek, this is brought to you by Top Shot Paint Repair. TopShotPaint.com.
I actually think I'm going to hit them up. Well, not me myself, but had a little accident at my parents' house. The carport fell in on their old Monte Carlo and smashed up the roof pretty good and got into the fiberglass front clip. So,
well, they happen to do fiberglass repair.
Fiberglass, and you know what? I think I'm going to hit them up and or have my parents hit them up and put a nice little, I don't know, about a $50 size hole in there. So yeah, bad deal.
So they do hail damage, paintless dent repair, a little bit of minor collision repair, bed liners. It's summertime, so they're doing marine fiberglass. You can do that year round. But if you have a problem, call them at 316-260-4022 or stop by at 423 South St. Francis in Wichita, Kansas.
Our next sponsor is Alpha Heating and Air.
Now, Derek, I got to say, my air conditioner is still doing very well that I purchased from Alpha Heating and Air.
We're getting in the dog days, and it's a good sign.
Yep. And I'll be happy to report back that my bill still is not that much different compared to last year, where I didn't even have, an AC unit upstairs.
Yeah, you were just cool on the first floor, huh?
Yeah. So I haven't really – it's about the same. So super high efficient. They're an LG and York dealer, but they do service all major brands. And I believe they're still doing their $75 tune-up special. So give them a call at 316-765-4492. And if you have problems with your AC, they are the go-to company in Wichita, Kansas, veteran-owned and operated. You can email them at alphahc16@gmail.com. But once again, if you need something, call Alpha Heating and Air at 316-765-4492.
And last but certainly not least, this is my favorite one.
Oh.
The Wichita Taco Fest.
Man, that is coming quick
up.
There.
It is coming up quick. We're going to have some giveaways on tickets very soon.
I'm sure we're going to have some given away on here probably. So
yes.
Make sure you subscribe, and you have a really good chance at winning some free tickets. And
it is Saturday, August 3rd in Old Cowtown. They're doing, I think it's $10 to get in. They get you $1 tacos, as many tacos as you want. I think there's a VIP package. I don't know if that's what they're calling it. Something of that sort where you get all sorts of high-end tequila and top
I think you get 10.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Ooh.
And, oh, man, I'm ready for that.
And there's still 33% off, Derek, right now.
Yeah, and it is all local vendors there. There's no corporate BS in there. It's all local vendors. If you want to see what vendors are on there, go check them out on Facebook or go to their website. It's going to be a great time.
And if you want tickets and you don't want to get them on their website, you can go to any Mobilecom location around Wichita. We're going to be there. Come say hi. But also, just stay tuned because you have a very good chance to win some tickets. And visit our contest page. We're actually giving away a pair of tickets right now. So go to our website and participate.
Yep, they're going to have live DJs and all sorts of fun. It is a family-friendly event. So make sure you check it out. Come hang out with us.
Derek, the word on the street is I'm going to fucking duct tape a pair of tickets under a park bench somewhere.
That's what I heard.
I don't know where yet. So you're going to want to pay attention to us because we like giving free shit away.
We do.
Absolutely.
Like oh, and this isn't an advertisement or anything. Just a little shout to our buddies from Yellow King that you will hear a little bit later on in the podcast. Go check out our giveaways. Actually, I don't even know if it'll be going by the time this is.
I don't know, but if not, just get your ass out there to their show.
Anyway, yes, we were doing giveaways, and it's probably too late now. You missed out. Signed poster, 2 free tickets, and a sticker. So
it's a fucking good deal, man.
Go check it out
For free.
Go check our Facebook page out. Maybe it might still be up there. We might not have announced a winner yet by the time this is up, but it's going to be a good show.
Yep.
I promise you. So
there's a bunch of good ass bands on there too.
Oh yeah. But you'll hear more about that later on because we're going to be talking to them.
Yep.
Their album releases Saturday, and it will be a good fucking time.
Yep.
Better be. I don't know why it better be, but I'm not even doubting it. I know it's going to be a good time. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, so we had a pretty eventful week over the last week since you heard from us last.
Yep.
Played the Wheat Festival here in Wellington. Which
hey, they had a fucking canopy this time, so yes. I was a little happy there. I was pretty happy.
If you guys listened to us last week, you'll know that I was pretty skeptical on having some shade. I thought we were going to be playing right out in the sun. But we had
Brian was.
I know.
Poor guy.
I know. We couldn't fit everybody in up under there, but yeah, man, that was a good time. Had fun.
There's quite a few people there.
It was especially nice to be able to kick off the Wheat Festival. You know, that's the main party that kicks it all off, and it was a good time all weekend. Yep. It was way better than it has been in maybe ever.
Did you go every night and listen to music, or?
I missed Thursday night because I was up in Wichita. I did listen to Friday night. I listened to Across the Pond and Ringer Star.
How was that?
That was pretty good. I mean, I like Across the Pond. I'm a fan of them guys. Ringer Star. I can't say that I'm a big Ringo Starr fan. I mean,
right.
He seemed like he did a very good job of. He's a Ringo Starr impersonator.
He kind of looked like him.
Yeah, he did. And he was good. It wasn't bad. It's just that wasn't my cup of tea. But Across the Pond did really well. And then Saturday night, you were down there. I caught all 3 bands down there.
How was that? I only caught the last one.
Mark Brownlee Jr. was the first one, and that guy, we have him on the station. He's a hometown guy. He's good. You got to watch out for him. I hope he really kicks it into high gear and decides to do the music thing because he's solid. He's a solid musician, and he's fun, entertaining to watch. So, and then Jason Boyd was the next one, and another good local act.
He had some, pretty high-profile local musicians up there with him, sitting in and stuff.
Yeah, Don Bradley was up there playing lead guitar with him.
He had Tyler Jimenez on the drums.
Jimmy, old Smiley, man.
Told you he'd be back in town.
Knocking him out. Yeah, talked to him. That was cool to talk to him.
He's constantly on the road.
Fuck yeah, he's been on the road I think he was on the road for 28 days or something like that. Gets back into town.
Starts playing more. I think he'd be sick of playing, but.
Oh, man, I asked him. I was like, how's the road, man? That dude, I mean, he's always smiling anyway, but he's had a big old grin on his face, man. He's loving it out there. So
it's got to be fun anytime you're able to do that, as your job, That's a big leap a lot of people aren't able to take or not willing to take. And It's a lot of sacrifice. So
he's done it, and he's done it nicely.
yeah,
He's he's on to bigger and better things, and sky's the limit for him. That dude's a badass drummer.
and you had Mark Green over there on the keys. It looked like,
Yeah,
but he's a solid musician all around.
yeah. And then the main act, the headliner, my boy Jason Boland. My God, that was fun.
That was pretty badass.
That guy's like my idol, man. I'm not lying. I've fucking listened to that guy for so long. And Main Street, man, I was right down front, dude, just yelling every song. Fucking got to meet him beforehand, actually. My sister hooked it up with the meet and greet. So I was pretty happy about that. That went kind of quick. That was not like we got to sit around and shoot the shit. He just kind of signed some shit, shook my hand.
Hey, you got a fucking set list though.
I did tell him, I had to work for that though. I did tell him, he's like, I'm glad you came out. And I was like, oh, you're going to see me again. I'm going to be that loud son of a bitch down front. And a man of my word. I was, man. I was fucking front row, center stage.
Hooting and hollering.
Oh, yeah. He's probably about ready to kick me in the teeth, but no, that was a good turnout. I was really wondering how that was going to turn out, and Main Street was filled up. So
I mean, there was people coming from all over. I mean, I came down from Wichita, and then Sage was with me. So I mean, he didn't live in there, so I'm sure there was a chunk of people that came that weren't even from there. Just down there to watch him. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a good time. I had a good time, and then party carried over into Sunday morning.
I didn't end up seeing you after the show, but I was over at Bill's house.
Were you?
Yeah, for like an hour. I was over there I walked out because Haley was going to kill me, and I saw you guys over there on the porch, and I was like, well, I got to go. That's pretty
didn't
dry.
even know.
It was pretty dry.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a good night, man. It was a really good time, the whole wheat festival. So glad I got to be a part of it. I was very grateful to the Wellington Chamber of Commerce, and everybody for letting us play. And the sound guys were working their fucking asses off.
It sounded good.
It did sound,
and they did a very good job of booking acts this year.
Yeah. So hopefully that continues. I liked something new this year was that they closed off Main Street right in front of the stage and let you carry around booze.
Yeah,
that's never happened, not since I've been around. And
no. I think it's because they didn't have a beer garden, so they
they used to stick the fucking beer garden like a block, like a block.
Yeah, where you can't even see the stage.
Couldn't find ridiculous.
Yep.
But this year they changed that and had a beer truck, and the beer truck was $3 beer. It was like
that ain't bad.
$5 mixed drink or something.
People just kept handing them to me. I don't know.
I kept running into the bar right next door and couldn't take your beer back out, so I just had to go in there and I'd grab a fucking pint of Coors and a fucking shot of Jaeger, dude, and just fucking.
That was crazy. Bad thing is, I heard that, the one place in Wellington that's really kind of known for their music maybe is no more, right? I don't know.
That's the rumor. I haven't talked to him, but
man, it's crazy.
I did see him the other night, but he didn't say anything to me. But I don't remember who I heard it from. But yeah, I heard they were closing up shop, but they weren't even open Friday,
which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because you're right there. That'd be one of the biggest days of the year, I would think. But
I think he was probably just trying to save the inventory that he had for one last hurrah. And
he had some parties, in there. And that was to me, that's kind of a really good place for class reunion type of deal because it's right there. There's lots going on, tons of people around.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I don't even want to say torn. I mean, I don't like seeing that play. I don't like seeing any bar close, especially one that sports live music. And that was really where we kind of got our start.
Yep.
Not even kind of got our start. That is where the whole reason we got our start was.
It was probably the place we played our first 10 shows or something.
We played a lot. We fucking really did. We played about 3 months straight every weekend for 3 months straight, sometimes twice a weekend in that place. And, yeah, it sucks to see it go. I suppose that's what happens. Small town. This town doesn't do a real good job of supporting live music. For what reason, I don't know. But everybody.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
There's 2 bars that everybody goes to in this town. I think there's
3 or 4.
there's 4 bars, but there's really the Door and the Pastimes where everybody goes, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
But I mean, there's not enough people there.
Yeah, you can't.
Kind of.
I mean, he's fought and he's tried to keep his head above water to keep that bar open for so long, and it is what it is. I suppose that's business, and can't do much about it. But that's why
I hope maybe something happens. Yeah,
that's why you go support your live venues, your local venues, man.
Yep. I hope. I don't know. Hope. If the rumor's true and he's closing, I hope somebody's got a good idea and maybe comes in there. I don't know, because it is a good spot to play music. Acoustics are pretty good in there.
Oh, I've heard it from many bands outside of Wichita or Wellington that love playing there, man. And you're talking like Aaron Woods. That guy's played a lot of stages,
Flashpoint's play there, I know.
And that was Rugged Grace loved playing there. And I mean,
I don't think anybody didn't love playing there.
it was a good venue. I think good intimate setting.
Right.
I'll say. I think it was just right for
acoustic
have that small acoustic little thing going, or you get a band in there that rocked the fuck out, and
yep, if
there was enough people in there, it kind of dampened that sound a little bit to make it just right. And
I mean that building's kind of just been a staple for a long time there. So I hope somebody brings it back.
I'm sure there will be somebody that will open it up again.
I mean, even if it's just like for certain things, you know what I mean? Like, look at the Crown Uptown. Like right now, they don't open all the time, right?
Right.
But when they do, and they have something fucking cool there, there's a reason to go there. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, it's always going to have a spot in my heart because that's the place where we cut our teeth, quote unquote. Where we're still cutting our teeth, I believe, but that was where we really got our start. He gave us our chance to play, and that's how our whole band came about. So
yep, we moved from a carport to down the block,
and now we're playing. We're moving to Wichita.
Yeah,
we're getting more shows up there, and
man.
Hey, speaking of which, shameless plug here. Me and Gus will be playing down at Aeroplanes on Saturday from
like 4 to 4:45 ish.
Yeah. I kept getting the times mixed up, but
I think that sounds right.
We start at 4.
I will not be there because I will be murdered.
I'm skirting death by going to this.
He is.
I had to make a deal with the devil, so to speak. But I didn't want to miss this one because we will be playing right before In Retrospect again. And then, yeah.
Is that a benefit of some sort? Or
yeah, the cancer stupid benefit.
Okay. I remember going to the last one they had there. It was really cool.
Hero Narrative is going to be right after In Retrospect.
Oh, yeah.
I think Danji plays earlier in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm trying to remember. Molly Neely is in there at the beginning. Oh, shit. What's the other band that plays right before us? I can't remember. But it's going to be a good time. If it wouldn't have been for I just wanted to play airplanes, so, play that patio. And
Are you gonna play on the patio?
yeah, I believe that's where it's at.
Ooh, it's gonna be hot.
So I know, but well, it's not really bad that time of day because the sun's going back behind the buildings.
True.
It'll be shaded, but I think it's still going to be a hot son of a bitch out there. But
Yep.
Regardless, there's always a good crowd there when there's music, and I don't know what all they got going on. I should know better, but this is a last minute deal where I decided I was going to play because, well, we got the baby shower. Papa Pierce.
Yep. We got a baby shower this weekend, and that's the devil that Derek made the deal with because he's in trouble. But I assume you guys are just going to come over afterwards and
before
hang
and after.
out.
I'll be there all morning, all afternoon.
Oh, yeah. They're coming up Friday, aren't you?
All evening. I think so. I'm gonna see how that goes.
Well,
haven't decided quite yet, but at least be there Saturday morning, no later.
It's official. My beers are ready. All of them.
I'm pretty pumped for that too.
I know.
I'm more excited for your beer than I am your kid.
Yeah, well,
I'm fucking with you. That's fucked up to say. I'm sorry, Pierce.
Man, I've ran into some problems with it. Just
what, the kid or the
beer? The beer.
Or the quote unquote devil.
Yeah, well, all of the above.
I hope she ain't listening to this.
I hope not either. But anyways,
she's gonna spit my breakfast. Just spit my hash browns.
But I had some issues, just fucking O-ring bullshit and kind of just little odd and end shit you run into, little fucking stupid problems, but got them all worked out, I think. So, if all goes to plan, and should have some pretty fucking tasty beers.
What kind of beers you got, man? Because I seen that lemon saison that you had.
Mm-hmm.
And
so I got a lemon drop. It's a lemon drop saison.
Oh, what's the difference?
That's a little bit
sweeter.
Have you ever had a lemon drop shot?
Yeah.
It's got sugar added to it, just to raise the gravity. It's pretty high gravity. Well, for my homebrew, anyways. Right. I think it's probably the highest gravity. It came in at 6.7%. That ought to be pretty tasty. A little more dry probably than some of the other beers, but we'll have a lemon shandy. So I think that'll be the most popular one probably. Yeah. It's gonna be hot and just tasty ass beer. So I got that all squared away today, and then we will have it's called Obi-Ron's wheat beer. So it's like just a regular typical wheat, but it's got like a hint of citrus in it. So you kind of get like a little bit of an orange aftertaste. It's pretty fucking good. So far, it's one of my favorites here that I have. And then the last one's a coconut milkshake.
Oh, yeah. That one.
New England IPA.
That's the one. You brought that down before, right?
Yeah, I brought it the 4th of July. Or the 3rd of July. You're
going to have to keep brewing that shit. You're going to have to brew my mom a keg of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, she like it?
Oh, my God, that woman. My dad fucking liked it. My dad, he kind of gets into craft beer and stuff. Like, he'll drink them. He'll drink different beer because he'll drink, anything. But, yeah, he was talking about it, man. He liked it, so.
Yeah, he was all like, man, I'm going to have to get into making beer or something. It's like.
You're going to have a fucking your own little following, man. Just
well, I mean, I like doing it, man. It's fun. It's just
I watch you do that shit. I don't know how. I'm glad I gave you that kit and just said to hell with it because I would never have I probably would have brewed that one batch and then
just been like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got quite a few more things to, make life easier, but yeah, definitely it was the catalyst in the beginning here. And I'm going to try to get Trench Bros some samples, but they got to get me little growlers first. But I'm telling you, man, it's just a fun little thing to do where just something to do. You drink beer while you make it, and then when you're done, you got a pretty cool fucking after product there. You got beer. Hello, it's fucking tasty. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's going to. I hope people like it. That's the biggest thing. I really fucking. I don't know. I just really hope people like it. That's my thing. You know what I mean? Because it was. It took some man hours to get all that stuff done, and
Well, about every time I talk to you, you're fucking doing something, brewing it, or fucking kegging it, or something.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but there's a lot more waiting time, just waiting for it to be done. But I've got it down to where these 2 beers that I just kegged up today, it was, from grain to glass, it'll be like 9 days, something like that. So, I've sped up my process since I started from 6 weeks to 9 days, to have a product. So that's pretty exciting because, if I run out of beer, I can have some pretty soon,
Right. Or you could just go to the liquor store like a
True.
normal human, but
Yeah. I just like being in control. It's kind of like, you feel like a mad scientist or something. You're experimenting and, kind of creating something.
They are good. I can't remember the last one I didn't
I had
like.
that was probably that one, but I think you ended up liking it in the end when you tasted it out of the keg.
It was like a
Directly.
grapefruit or something.
Yeah, it was a grapefruit pulping.
Yeah, I
IPA.
think you brought a bottle of it or something, and I tried it, and I about threw up everywhere. And then
I brought a growler, and
it wasn't that bad. But yeah, and then I think I tried it like a week or so later at your house, and out of the keg, and I liked it.
Sometimes it just needs a little time to condition a little more,
or I was probably just drunker and like, fuck it, I don't just give me a beer.
No, I'll agree. Like I mean, I've noticed that with a lot of these beers. Obviously, like the longer it sits, it's going to change characteristics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it just is. I mean, some of them you want to drink as fast as possible, like that coconut milkshake any IPA, because just all the hops you have put into it, like they start to like wear down, pretty quick.
That was really no problem drinking that as fast as I could.
No. So
brought a whole growler, dude, and I was like trying to save some for you.
No, it's all good, but it's it's interesting because I find a difference between a growler and just straight out of the tap. Like you're losing some CO2, and I don't know. There's just, to me, I tasted a bit of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just how it's poured and stored and all that stuff.
Right.
But most people probably don't care either way. They would go to their favorite brewery, get a growler or crowler, and go home. They're probably going to drink it pretty quick. But, I don't know. I just noticed a little bit of a taste difference just in its natural, vessel.
Well, you got to be more proud of it. You got to be proud of that when you make something and you can actually consume it.
Oh yeah,
that's bad. Sick and
yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, it would suck. You make all this beer and it's all fucked up. Like that wouldn't be cool. I mean, it does happen, but
and the approval of other people fucking like it, and I mean, it's just that'd be like the equivalent to cooking,
right?
Like you get I feel really good if I make some food and everybody enjoys it, and
right.
Spend time, spend a lot of time on it, making it and shit. Yeah.
I do think though that probably the most popular one is probably going to be the lemon shandy. I would assume.
Probably that's like kind of down the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like everybody, especially with it being hot outside, shandy's always good. I will be sampling that first thing in the morning on Saturday. Just so
if you come up Friday, you probably get to sample it.
Or that. Either Friday night or Saturday morning.
I'm gonna sample it.
One way or the other, I'm gonna be drinking it on Saturday morning. So
yep. It's interesting, just trying to make sure it's ready and the conditioning process, and you gotta hope that you don't have some fucking CO2 hose like not tight.
Right.
It's scary, man, because you just like drain, like your whole fucking CO2 tank will just drain, just empty. And then you can't really serve beer at that point, right? So if you ever get into brewing and kegging and stuff like that, highly recommended you have a backup CO2 tank. Because about the time it fucking goes empty, it's probably Friday at 5:45 p.m. and you can't get it filled.
Well, then you can open that keg up and just drink out of there, right?
No.
Why?
Why? Well, I mean, you're not really supposed to expose your beer to oxygen. And that's a lot of the whole process of drinking, keg beer is you first condition it, carbonate it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to lower the PSI way down to like a serving carbonation level. If you kept it cranked where you carbonated at, it'll come out super fucking foamy, no beer really, and you'll just have problems. So you have to turn your CO2 levels down to like a serving temperature, and that depends on the style of beer you're serving and stuff like that. There's charts and stuff, but the biggest thing about it is you don't want to fucking have a bad time. Like if you're having people over, you don't want them to come over and then your fucking CO2 tank's empty and nobody can drink this 4 fucking kegs of beer you have or whatever.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, it's not like I don't have the style set up like, you'd go to your local liquor store and get a keg, and yeah, you got the hand pump, right?
Right.
That's not the style of the keg beer and taps and stuff like that I have. So it's important to make sure that you, like, all your fittings and shit are tight, and that's something that a lot of people don't think about. When they go out to drink beer at a brewery or something like that, all them fucking hoses and connections and just there's so many fail points, and those guys are just such pros at it.
Oh man, you're giving me anxiety. I didn't even know there was that much work going into.
Well, it's not hard once you got everything set up good, but there's constantly there's always going to be something to fucking go wrong. So you kind of got to be prepared, but I'm excited.
Yeah, that's the ironic part, man, is when things go wrong, that's when I start drinking beer. But if your CO2 runs out and shit's going wrong, then you can't even drink your beer.
I know.
That's the irony.
But I do have a huge ass spare tank, so
there you go.
I got nothing to worry about.
All right. Good deal.
Does that make you feel a little more assured?
Little bit.
I just can't wait to sample it. Honestly, it's coming.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious myself.
Excited.
So yeah. Well, shit. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention. I don't know how many of you fine folks listening have any interest in fantasy football or just football talk in general. Me and a buddy of mine are going to start a podcast called Fourth and Drunk, of course.
So fitting.
It's actually the fantasy football league that we're in. That's the name of that. And
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that'll be up pretty quick. It'll be called the Fourth and Drunk podcast. It'll be fantasy football, mostly fantasy football related. We're going to talk regular, just football in general as well. But I'll have Eric will be on there, Tim, whoever really wants to just sit around and bullshit football.
Probably some people from our league too, I would imagine.
Yeah, like
get somebody on there.
I don't know. I don't quite know the direction it's going to go. Pretty much about like anything else in my life. I just
drunk and just
yeah, exactly. I just grab a beer and start doing something, and then where it ends up, who knows?
That's exciting because fucking all the possibilities.
It is. No, it is, and there is a lot more possibilities too as far as sports talk and we've kicked around that idea. Just all sorts of different stuff. We're trying to just branch out a little bit, and because I enjoy the shit out of doing podcasts and talking, and I like the challenge of starting a new one, and It's fun.
So I'm sure that'll be up on our website as soon as you guys get that. Fucking smash the boat with the old champagne glass and
Yeah, we just did the intro earlier, and then we will be doing some more actual podcasts here pretty quick next few days. So should be a weekly podcast, give or take. Probably at least once a week it'll be on there. So
yeah.
that'll be fun. It should be entertaining. Is
it going to be random, or is it going to come out on certain days, or you got anything in mind?
I believe it'll be Wednesdays.
Wednesdays?
Because we'll probably talk on Tuesdays after, your Monday Night Football.
Yeah. That makes sense.
We'll probably talk on Tuesday. By the time it's edited up, we'll get it done on
so after Monday and before Thursday.
Yeah. I figured that was probably the best time to do so. So, yeah, looking forward to that. That ought to be fun and fun little deal to do. So, one more thing while I was thinking about it, I didn't even plan on talking about it, but our buddy Eduardo Castaneda from NG&K.
Yeah.
Remember him? Yeah. He got his podcast up and going.
Oh, really?
Success Index is what it's called. And I listened to it the other day. I didn't get all the way through the third. He does an intro, and then he does one where he's just kind of talking about depression and stuff and how he's used that to his advantage to help him get where he's going. And he's got an incredible story. I mean, he fucking lost like 100 and something pounds like in a year.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a really good story. He battles depression. He's a local musician here in Wichita, and but he's just interviewing people that are doing shit, moving, getting their dream, what they're trying to do going, so.
It's cool, man.
I like the thought process of that.
It's pretty cool. Interesting.
It is, and so go check it out. Success Index.
I'm gonna have to.
I think one podcast is about 30 minutes. I think the one he did an interview with one of his friends who's starting a clothing line.
Okay.
I think that's about an hour long. I got a little ways into that one, and I got busy, but it was really good. It was really good. So yeah. Anyway, little plug there for Eduardo.
Cool, man. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I'm gonna try. I told him I'd get him on here anytime to just talk. So
that's cool, man.
We'll see where that goes. But yes, sir. Well, you got anything else?
Are we at the halfway point?
I don't even know how long we've been doing this.
I don't either.
Been a good little bit. But I'm out of stuff to talk to. Out of stuff to talk about, not talk to. But anyway, I suppose we should probably get on with the interview. That's probably why everybody's here.
Hey.
The old Yellow King interview with Glenn and Luke. And once again, I'm going to say it every week. They help us out so much, man. Can't thank them enough. Such a good part of the podcast now. I really like the interviews that are coming out of there, and not that we did a terrible job, and we'll still do our own as well. But
it's really neat anytime we get them guys on board with this, because all together we create a really cool fucking show, I think. So
yeah, I agree, and they, like I said, they just put the production in there, and they put the time in there that we don't necessarily have sometimes, and it fucking comes out really good. And I'm really, really, really happy and proud that those guys are helping us out and taking time to do that.
Right.
And they're fun. They're just good interviews. Glenn is I'm telling you, that dude's got $1 million voice.
Well, he's a fucking auctioneer, man.
Right. He can talk, man, and he does a good job of it. But yeah, so we'll shut up and we'll let Glenn and Luke, and I believe I'll be in there.
Yellow King.
I don't know how much talking I'm going to do, because I just kind of let him do his thing. But anyway, we were going to hear from Yellow King. So
right on, man. Hey, we're going to hear a song too, aren't we? Yeah.
Yes. Actually, so new that I don't even remember the name of it. Stall him.
Beep, beep, boop, beep. Calculating.
Stall him, Eric.
Calculating. Beep, boop, beep.
It's funny you said that, and then my thumb accidentally hit the.
Oh, did you hit the calculator?
I hit the calculator.
Derek's calculating for reals.
That was random.
Subconscious.
Runaway Scarecrow. That is what it's called.
Oh, that's interesting.
Dude, it is
haven't
good.
heard it.
I know.
This is gonna be the first time I'm gonna hear it.
Yep, and it's fucking good. So, all right,
sweet man.
Enjoy. We'll see you on the other side.
Hi, this is Yellow King, and you're listening to the Thirsty Thursday podcast on ICT-radio.com.
It slowly burns like a cancer in you. Your eyes are lost in a sea of gray. You try to bury the answers you can't face. A gentle poison leeching.
Welcome to the Thirsty Thursday Spotlight, featuring interviews from top Wichita acts and artists, recorded live from beautiful Red Cat Recording in Peck, Kansas, featuring Eric and Derek from ICTRadio.com, and produced by Luke Wallace. Listen up, you knuckleheads. Here's your host, Glenn Shipman.
How's it going, knuckleheads? It's Thursday once again. We're here in Peck, Kansas at Red Cat Recording, home of that big Red Cat sound. Luke Wallace is back in the control room as well.
What's up, Glenn? How you doing?
How are you, Luke?
Well, you know, I'm always pretty good.
You're always pretty, I know that.
Well, I'm good, too.
All right.
You should see me.
I can see you pretty well. This is the
oh.
first time, this is the first podcast we've done that I can actually see you this
I
time.
kind of
so-
like this better.
Yeah, we got a little different setup here in the studio because we've got like 25 people in here with us today.
It's like a classroom.
It is like a classroom.
Who is this?
You guys, Yellow King, say hi.
Hello.
All right, yes. We are excited to have Yellow King in studio with us today. We have Blake Cody,
Hello.
John Dornbos,
Shalom.
Kyle
Boss.
Gambler. How are you? Dorn Boss, excuse me. Kyle Gambler,
What's going on?
the bass
Gambler.
player. So, Victoria, you're new one. I haven't met you yet. Just today.
Yes.
So, and then we have Nate.
Hi,
What's up, Nate?
it's me.
Well, let's start off with Victoria. What are you doing in this band?
Hello. I am playing guitar. I'm playing
Guitar.
synth keys, noises. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
sounds.
it's pretty dope. I do make whale sounds with my
She's
guitar.
just bringing it to a whole nother level. Like it, yeah, we were really excited. You know, it was kind of just the entire process of like the recording and this new album and the label and, you know, her becoming available and being able to add her in. It was just a giant thing of everything cascading down at once. But yeah, like one of the best things that's come out of all of this is, you know, I think her contribution. And, you know, we were all really lucky to have her be able to join us on this.
Well, I'm excited to hear the new album. I know that you guys are going to be doing your live release, or excuse me, your release party on Saturday, correct? Is that at the Elbow Room?
Yep, at the Elbow Room.
So walk me through how this all came about. Blake? Everybody looked at Blake.
Well, I mean,
Like,
speaking
okay.
on Victoria too, with the record deal, and Kenny Bollinger and Jason Catlett started the Fine Swine Records, and we ended up signing a deal with them last October and wrote this album and had it pretty much all recorded. And then we're like, hey, we're going to make this more difficult and just throw a whole new member and instrument into it.
Surprise.
Surprise!
Out here making it complicated.
And I mean, she's done phenomenal too, and it's completely added the dimension that I've always wanted for the I mean, we've been together almost 4 or 5 years, and having that element with a live player instead of
Your band has been together for 4 or 5 years?
yeah,
Okay.
total. So it just adds that element that I've always wanted to from music growing up, from, you know, Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, having that actual keyboard feel to it.
That's kind of neat. I can't wait to hear it. So, and I'm a big fan of guitar too. So,
Oh,
It's
yeah,
fun. It's
absolutely.
real fun.
I think that stuff is kind of coming back. So,
Yeah, I've
What-
actually been friends with Victoria for quite a few years now, and you know she's always been someone that I thought was a really talented musician. You know, right about the time that we were getting ready to, or that we were finishing up recording this album, she was in another band at the time, and so you know then she ended up becoming available, and so
she was in Killing Cake.
no, she was not. She was in Conquer the Pacific was the
Oh,
band
okay.
she was in before this. But that's when I first got to know her through, you know, I was in another band, Judgment Finger at the time,
Right.
and we played some shows together.
I see the connection.
We did some music videos through through my film company, Shattered Glass Films. So yeah, it was definitely someone that I've always wanted to work with. And then, you know, it all just kind of aligned. Right at about the same time to where I was like, oh, she's finally available.
This is getting real sappy real fast.
Yeah.
You guys are so nice to me.
Well,
Thank
that's,
you.
know, one of the things that you just brought up was Shattered Glass Films, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think one of the things that's unique about your band is where you guys pull from for your marketing. I know that Blake is very, very talented artist. So are you, John. You know, as you can see when you guys see their new poster that's dropping out with this record, and the album art, I assume, is all by you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Shattered Glass Films where you can do your video promotions.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are solid on Facebook, you're solid on the social media. Is that by design, or is that just consequential that you guys just all are super talented in other areas too?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I think it's just a chaotic
definitely
mixture of everything.
So what do you bring to that party, Nathan?
Oh,
He's the webmaster.
I manage the web stuff. Usually.
figured
It's
you
usually
did.
my domain
Yeah.
there.
He lives on the internet.
He's kind of the
Tech-
meme.
I don't want to
Cool.
talk about how
He's the
long
guru.
I'm on the internet.
So Victoria, what do you think about these guys? I mean, how's it been for you? Your
It's
first.
been great. It's been really fun and exciting and challenging. But they've welcomed me with open arms. You know, I've felt like part of the team pretty quickly. They definitely set the bar high.
Absolutely.
I
We
mean,
didn't have to
and
hold her at
rightfully
gunpoint, I
so.
swear.
No, I just mean that, like, I would send parts and they were honest with me whether or not they liked them. You know, there were some where they were like, "That's you hit the nail on the head. That's good."
Perfect.
And then there were others where they were like, maybe let's go back to the drawing board on this one.
Yeah.
And we're looking for more of this kind of sound. And
They learned that from Luke Wallace. I promise you.
Aw,
That was
that's
exactly
cool.
what he said.
yeah, but I just
I don't
really,
know about that.
I just really appreciated the really honest feedback, because it made me feel like I know what to expect. I know what you
Sure.
want from me, and I know whether or not I can rise to that occasion. And there wasn't any time to mess around. I mean, I came in really late in the game, so it was get it done or don't.
Well, you can look at it as you came in
So.
late in the game, or you started a new game.
Or
Because-
that.
yeah.
I just mean in terms of deadlines for the album.
Sure.
I mean, I
like
think
there just
you
wasn't
have-
a lot of
She
time.
knocked out half the record in about a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
She literally would go home every day after work and just sit
Send
there
us
for
back.
hours and record on her crazy, chaotic makeshift studio and would
My
drop
2011 MacBook Pro.
would drop these files. So we would
I
get
think she
files.
had it
Kidding.
on
It's
like
top of the line technology.
Well, yeah, and just the album itself and writing it, it was kind of a very chaotic thing because we were very excited about it when we did the announcement in October. With Kenny and Jason, they had approached us. I think it was actually at one of the first shows that Yellow King played with Conquer the Pacific. I think it was when we played together with Julian K, which was just about a year ago because that just popped up in my memories. And yeah, they asked us. They were had mentioned we're talking about doing a label, and we'd like for you guys to be one of the first artists on it. We would.
Not one of you are the first, right?
Yeah,
I think we definitely are the first.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because Parallax is the other artist, and that's Jason, who's the owner of the thing. So it's kind of just.
Yeah.
I'm like technically like. I guess they would be first because he owns the company and he started it. I don't know.
No, that's probably semantics, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, we're. I'll
You're
take
definitely
it. Yeah,
the
we're
first
the
one
first
that I
artist.
saw that was announced.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
So, they did that, and
Until you said that, I didn't know Parallax was on that. I
think they
it would
did
be, but, yeah.
I think they
a release
released it.
show through Fine Swine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was about the same, or that was in July of last year that they approached us with this idea, and that was about the time that we had a lot of personal stuff happened, and we all just ended up having very busy lives and just a very oppressive work schedule to where there were weeks at a time where none of us could get like all free on the same
Sure.
night to practice. So
I can only imagine.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
it was actually just a really stressful. It all started to come together, and we were able to adapt. And a lot of things like a lot of the vocals and a lot of the lyrics for the songs were written remotely. Like they would be able to get together and like record a scratch track. Like Nate would do it in his home studio, and then Blake would come in and like do guitar and bass over it, and then.
We drop it back and forth through files online,
Yeah.
and
I'm familiar with that process too because Nate helped me with a couple of songs. I think a year ago, I had some ideas and I laid down some stuff and I sent it to Nate and he sent back a complete full drum track to it.
It's crazy.
Nate's a robot.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I can't help but notice, I barely recognized you guys because nobody's wearing makeup.
Yeah, I thought we were doing a full makeup.
I
I'm wearing my makeup.
This is a full
It's
deal.
100
It looks
degrees
very
outside.
natural.
Come on.
Subtleties.
Let's get all painted up for radio.
Let's
So-
play some movie clips on the radio.
And honestly, what does the makeup do for you guys?
It's just a different outlet. That's how. I mean, I've always felt. You've known me for several years, and just I get a hold of paint, and I just like to go crazy, and I've always wanted to delve into that
I
artistry.
think it sets you apart.
Yeah, and it makes me more comfortable on stage too. I mean, it just adds a whole different dynamic. I think personally to my attitude. I mean, when you put on a pair of leather pants and some lipstick, I mean, it's
Kinda like
just
you're
a
playing-
feeling.
It's kind of like you're playing a character.
One of the tips they always tell people when they're going in for a job interview is to have your clothes dry cleaned that week so that when you walk into the interview, you're wearing freshly pressed, dry cleaned clothes. And I imagine that's the same sentiment that what you're getting at. You're putting yourself in a uniform to get on stage. To
Our
do
stage
a
clothes smell terrible.
Oh, I bet it's so
bad.
It's dry clean only, and I'm just gonna get more face paint over it.
Yeah,
It does add to the artistry, though. And everything we do kind of goes with the music. I mean, from the merchandise to what we're wearing to the makeup that we put on our face, it all meshes with the music. So it's one big performance instead of just a couple guys getting on stage in their blue jeans.
Yeah, or cargo shorts.
Exactly.
Well, and that's one of the things that I did want to talk about. Just like Luke said, it's a show. I think it's even more of a show with you guys. It's a production.
For sure.
Definitely, yeah.
You know,
That's fair.
Kyle, what all goes into production? I mean, I know you guys have fog, you have lights.
Right, we have all of that, and like I said, it all kind of meshes with the music, but it's something that we do, and it's kind of a bonding experience with all of us with the makeup and the design, and John will sit there at his desk at work for hours drawing pictures of us in makeup.
It's not weird.
It's not. It's kind of weird, but that's what we love about it. Is it's weird and it makes people uncomfortable. And I don't know, if you've ever struggled with stage fright or anything, if you're making the people in the crowd uncomfortable, it makes it a lot easier on you, and you can have a good time up there.
Yeah.
And we struggled for a long time with small crowds and stuff, but people are finally coming around to love how weird it is.
Yeah.
Us up on stage.
I mean, we did have a couple years ago and at the Shamrock too. One of my friends, she ended up putting like 9-inch nails into her nose,
that,
and
yeah.
weird height.
Yeah.
I think you might have been there
Yeah.
for that, and just the little weird.
That was the first
things.
time I saw your guys' full light show. You guys had just bought all those column and the movers and all that stuff. And it was
I've always been a real hands-on guy too, and John as well. Our new mic stand that we're going to debut
I want
Saturday.
to talk about that. John's going to have to bring up some of his props here.
Made lots of paper mache props and light boxes and all handcrafted stuff to.
Well, that's one of the first things that drew me to Yellow King the band, because for those that don't know, Blake and Kyle are actually the only founding members left. Nathan, you've been friends with with Blake for ever.
The better part of a decade and a half.
I know you did some stuff with them before, but you kind of just officially joined I think a couple of months before I did.
Yeah,
right?
July 2017.
Yeah, and then I guess I was.
You were after that.
Yeah, I was. I guess only a
August
couple of weeks. Yeah,
2017.
July of 17, and then Victoria just joined
last week,
and I think in April, around April or so.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Oh, we had to sit on that for a while.
Yeah, we
That
did
was
have
hard.
to sit. We did have to
That's
sit on that
true.
announcement. It was really cool, but it was very.
It was hard to not
tense.
tell people. I was so excited.
But yeah, I remember seeing. I think I saw the when they did the little spread for the ICT radio
Magazine.
The ICT magazine. And yeah, I saw that and read the article, and I was like, man, this is a really cool thing, because I was always into very theatrical things, like Kyle was saying. If you go in to see a live music, it's never going to sound as crisp and as clear, and as high fidelity as it is on the recording.
God, I hope
so.
not.
You've got to have it.
I love live.
So you got to have something for people to see, because if you're just standing there in cargo shorts and a metal shirt,
yeah,
or even if you're playing what you're playing is very proficient, people can see you. So
Right.
that's a visual aspect of
Absolutely.
what you've got to give them an entire experience.
Helps us further stand out.
It's just like eating food. You see the food before you eat the food, and if it doesn't look good, it doesn't taste good to you. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes I inhale my food.
I don't look at it.
Well, Nathan, you said you came on July of 2017.
Yep.
And I know you filled in. You took over for Tom Smalling. I'm a huge Tom Smalling fan.
That dude's
He's
a
dope.
monster.
He's a
Love that
monster.
dude.
Cool.
But I'm
Such a sweet
I'm
guy,
a
too.
big fan of Nathan Abernathy too. So, how was that though, coming in? I know a little bit about you, but why don't you tell us a little bit about how you listened to his stuff and made it your own? Because I definitely think you made it your own.
Yeah,
But still kept to the song.
Well, it helps when the parts are cool.
Yeah.
Like when you're coming into a band and you like the music, it really helps. I low key had heard all the songs as soon as they came out, and because I've known Blake for, like I said, it was going on since high school.
Our
at
first
least.
band was
Our first
together.
band was he was like a baby then.
That was 10 years ago. I have pictures.
It was I'd always kind of we went our separate ways there for a little bit. I did my thing, he did his, and I'd always kind of kept track of what he was doing because that's your friend.
Yeah.
But Tom is fucking awesome.
He is.
He's so it really helped.
And
come
a genuinely good dude too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We see him at almost all of our shows.
Yeah.
Love the dude.
Yeah, he's
You know, you see all these.
shows
You
I
see
didn't
the,
even know he was playing in.
you see all
plays
these,
with everyone.
you know, these bands that you change members or whatever, and a lot of times it's a bunch of drama, you know, and it's like this guy hates this guy.
I actually got a taste of that in this band too.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But I came
It
in.
wasn't
after,
from Tom
after,
Smalling,
No,
though.
it wasn't from Tom Smalling. It was
Yeah.
technically one show before Tom Smalling. They lost their old drummer, and Blake hit me up. It was like, "Hey, could you fill in? We've got a show we need someone for," and I was like, "You don't even have to ask, dude."
And then he learned all of our material. And
I learned it.
I have personal experience with that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
And then we broke capacity at the Shamrock that night.
That's
too.
awesome. I had our drummer had, I don't know, 5 or 6 heart attacks on stage one night.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't know it, was not feeling very good, and went to the hospital the next morning and found out that he had 99% blockage in one artery, 100% in another, and was going to be out for a while. And he had made a post on Facebook, and I woke up to 25 or 30 drummers saying, "Hey, man, I hope Heath's okay. If you need a drummer, let me know." And so I reached out to Heath, and I said, "I've got all these cats that want to come out and play. Which one do you think I should look at?" And he said, "Nathan Abernathy." And that's no joke, but I thought he was talking about Nathan Roy from Big Red Horse.
Another
Jason
solid
will
name.
love that.
Another solid
drummer.
name.
So I'm talking to Nathan Abernathy because I'm kind of dumb in a sense, but so I'm talking to Nathan Abernathy on Messenger, and albeit it's on an iPhone 4, so it was kind of small. So that's my only excuse there. So I'm talking to him for a week, and I get it lined up to where Nathan's going to come in and practice with us at the Elbow Room. We had a couple shows that weekend that he needed to fill in for, and just wanted to make sure we ran through some stuff, and so Nate agrees, of course, and this whole time I'm thinking it's Nathan Roy. And I hadn't met you yet. I don't think I'd met Nathan at this point. So we get to the Elbow Room, we're setting up, and then here comes Nathan Abernathy in. And I'm like, "Who is this dude?" And he's
just
carrying.
walking. I don't know this guy's walking and setting up his drums.
I thought maybe
What's going
Nathan
on here?
Roy had a drum tech. He's got a guy that travels
That's
with
the
his
dream.
drums, setting it up, and I was like,
impressive.
"All right, man, he's impressive."
Not only did you book the wrong guy, but he showed up and knew everything.
Oh,
He
that's what
sent
I'm
me-
getting at.
he
That's
sent
what
me
I'm getting at.
A
is that-
long list of songs.
Yeah, we do have a long set list, and
They're
so
all-
so we're taking him through some of the covers that we did at the time, and he's knocking them out of the park, and I mean literally knocking them out of the park. So I thought, well, let's do some of the originals, and I think maybe we played one original, and I think we played 4 songs that night, and that one original that you played, I said, I have no question. We stopped practice and started drinking.
Like, we're good.
And yeah, so I know how well that you filled in because I've seen it firsthand. So I think you guys are lucky to have Nathan.
Oh,
on
we
us.
know.
Sure.
Don't tell him that you're boosting his ego. We're not. We don't want him to
We gotta
know how
keep him at
good
a
he
certain
really
level.
is.
Oh, he knows. Like,
Oh, I know.
People constantly just, he's definitely like the best drummer in Wichita that I've ever seen.
He is definitely.
We're not
proficient
biased
at his
or
skill.
anything.
Yeah,
Really, really nice.
You should see how red his face is right now.
How many drummers get talked about for so long?
I know.
You know?
Dude.
Like, yeah, he's a drummer, whatever.
He's a drummer.
Guitars. Let's talk about the guitars.
So let's talk about the guitarist here,
Uh-oh.
Blake.
Talk about an ego.
Another funny
Papa
story.
Cody.
You know, I have a little bit of history with Yellow King. I mean, you guys played my first birthday party at the Elbow Room.
Yeah, that was a
Fantastic.
blast.
Man, that was a blast. It was, and I don't think Kenny and Daria had any idea what was about to happen that day either. We were supposed to play that at the Burnout Grill, and then I don't know. We had some kind of drama
Yeah, I
where the
forgot
city
about that.
city shut it down or something, and so we moved it to the Elbow Room last minute. I mean, this is on a Thursday of a Saturday show. We moved it to the Elbow Room, and it was well over capacity. It was the biggest show they'd had until Head PED came in.
Didn't they run out of beer that night?
Oh, they ran out of beer,
Yeah.
whiskey, and everything a couple times. But
Epic.
one of the things I was impressed most about was Blake Cody and his $27 guitar Walk us through your gear, man. 'Cause
Are you talking about
was-
my J-Tur shirt?
Yeah.
Hey, I love that thing, dude.
He does.
I've always just loved J-Tur shirt. That purple guitar I play on the majority of the time that has the crystal snake up the neck. That was actually the last thing my grandfather gave me before he passed away my sophomore year of high school. And I've sold every other guitar here or there. You know, you'll have 5,
But
6
that's the
of
one
them.
you kept.
Yeah, that's the one I'll always keep. But you know how it is, having tons of guitars. You got to trade them like Hot Wheels or whatever.
I can only have one guitar. I can't have more than one guitar.
I got a problem.
Yeah. I don't know why it is, but I can't own more than one
Court
guitar.
order.
It might be court ordered. Well, no, I was impressed that night for sure. But what was really funny about it was that I hadn't heard of you guys, and I didn't know anything about your music. I knew Blake, and I'm not sure how we met, Blake, but
I don't remember either.
We struck a friendship immediately. So
The internet.
Yeah, probably the internet. It might have been on Tinder.
It was
Grindr.
Yeah. I met him on Grindr. You get Tinder? That's not fair.
You strike me as
He was
more of
in
a
makeup.
scruff guy.
He was in makeup, so
Fools everybody.
But I knew that it was going to be a good product that you put out just from knowing you. But
I appreciate
I had it in my mind that your guys' name was Yellowfish.
Yes.
Do you remember
Serving
this?
up
I do
fish.
remember this. I do remember
So-
this.
And my girlfriend at the time was telling me all week long, it's Yellow King, not Yellowfish. You're going to get on stage and you're going to call him Yellowfish. I was, no, I got this. Don't worry about it. I get up on stage. Hey, you guys, put your hands together for Yellowfish.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
That was
it
hilarious.
Pretty good. We've got to play a couple shows together. I think we also played the outdoor
The Stevenson
Festival.
Party.
Yeah, I love
that's a
Whiskey
blast.
Ridge.
Whiskey. So Kyle, walk me through your setup, man. I know that you have some cool gear that you play through.
Yeah, actually, I recently lost my baby. I had some gear stolen from me. I had a beautiful
that on
2004
Facebook.
Spectre.
It was a baby too. You only had that for like one show.
Yes.
The Julian K show.
And it was fantastic. But now I'm playing on a 4-string Ibanez. I play with a pick, which some people have a problem with. But
We just had
Who
our
cares?
bass
Who
listenership
cares
just
if they have
went.
a problem?
You don't
It's
slap.
more of a
dude?
3-string Ibanez at
What are
this
you
point.
doing?
right. I play through a Sans amp, which is great because you don't actually have to take a bass rig anywhere when you're playing in Wichita. So get yourself a little Sans amp bass driver, and
Vince uses that too.
yeah, that's
it's-
all you ever need. You just carry that thing around with you, and it's like a pocket-sized amp. It's great.
It is, and they sound really good too.
Yes, they do.
And
They
they're
sound
very,
great.
very adjustable.
Yep.
You can make it sound like anything you want. So
And everything on the album is recorded through that. So
It makes the bass player less of a waste of space.
exactly.
Get him.
that's awesome.
I actually play the bass too, so you know.
Yeah, I'm the third best bassist in Yellow Cake.
Anything I say about Kyle, I'm also saying about myself. That's how I justify it.
So I was thinking about this on the way over here. You know, I had every intention of printing up some questions, but as usual, I didn't. So
On the fly.
Do it live.
Always on the fly.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
I've got a
On the fly
blank
with
sheet of
Jimmy
paper
Shy.
now that you know, and it kind of reminds me of a you know, little story in a sense. You know, you have a blank sheet of paper. How do you guys take this blank sheet of paper and then make it into a full album in 7 months? What is your writing process like? Who wrote most of this? Or did you guys all collaborate on the actual writing of the songs? Somebody started. Did you guys all share the responsibility?
Yeah, the majority of it comes with usually me starting up a couple riffs in my head and showing them to Nate, and then he'll drop a fat beat on it, and it's just kind of like a spiraling process from there. And sometimes he'll send different beats, and it's going to be a different process with Victoria too.
Sure.
Since the album obviously was on a deadline, and we threw her into the mix, which was the best decision we've probably ever made. But it's going to be a whole different process with any future writing. So it was like a real chaotic system that we kind of developed throughout the months, with either starting to choreograph it together, or just being stressed out and be like, oh, we need to write 2 more songs and dropping it.
Who's
through.
writing the lyrics?
That's all John.
I figured so. It's
Yeah.
got a little poetry to it.
I usually wait for them to, with this band, it's different than other bands that I've been in where I kind of take a back seat and, sometimes there'll be times where I'll be like, oh, I'm just not at practice for a while they're, crafting the new songs. And then I like to really come at it, this project with the music there just because I love the groove that they all have with each other, and it's a very symphonic thing to where I feel like the vocals is more, kind of like it's like another instrument in the arrangement than just, something you lay over the top. So I usually, except for, this time Victoria came in after the vocals were written and put her stuff in. But
do you think that would have changed things? Do you think it's going to change things on the next song you guys write?
It could potentially, just because we have not had a lot of time to slack around since she joined or, just this entire time. But, we've had a couple of instances where we've gotten to just do like cool little jams and, it just comes out with.
It's been so fun when we have been able to. It's been so fun.
You never know where if we had one that was kind of almost just like reminded me of like a 80s sort of new wave thing came up one time. Then at one point, like her and Kyle, like the two super millennials, like a emo jam. One point we had like a smooth jazz where like they got on like the right. But so I mean, usually the lyrics and the melodies and the vocals all comes down to me. On this album, that was definitely one of the hardest parts for me because with this one, we kind of had like a concept in mind, of like Blake mentioned, and we used to, just like find different influences to be under and talk for hours
under a lot of influences
and talk about like the concept. And, we created this rock opera sort of concept album for this year. So it was really kind of a weird thing to do because this is the first album that I've recorded with these guys, and why I put myself in a box like that.
We didn't hear a lot of the vocals until we got the first master back.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some songs we never even heard the vocals to, and we already had them written. So that was a whole.
That's how much we trust John.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was really hard coming up with the vocals, and with the time constraint, not being able to get feedback on that, and then also with it, you're not just writing lyrics for that individual song.
Sure.
You've got an overarching story that you're trying to tell.
That's kind of been the thing with this band from the beginning. Really, is
I kind of like the concept album idea where it's the whole thing tells a story. And I know Luke has hit on it a couple times in some of our interviews about. I get to hear Luke talk to some of the artists as they come in, and he really preaches that you don't want to just stick a bunch of songs together because these are the 5 songs that you've written. Mm-hmm. You want this album to have a purpose, or you want this album to have a meaning.
Definitely.
That's what it sounds like you guys are coming from too.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of that influence comes from like Pink Floyd and Marilyn Manson, all those great conceptual albums throughout the years.
Yeah, I wanted it to be an album where it was all, it is a concept out there, is an overarching story, but, I also wanted it to be one, kind of like those.
Relatable.
You could cherry pick if you wanted.
But to where you could also just listen to any individual track and still, find it wouldn't just be, like listening to the middle song in a musical and being like, what's going on with this?
Exactly. Well, I think this is as good a time as any to listen to one of those songs, don't you, Luke?
Yeah, I think so.
We have one queued up.
Just a second here. Okay, roll on.
All right, Kyle, tell us a little bit about what we're going to hear right now.
This is Tin Man Rising. It's the first single that we released off the new album Cracked Earth under Fine Swine Records. It's the first song we released with Victoria in the band, and it's great. You're going to love it.
All right, let's take a listen.
Here we go.
I hope so.
When you find the gods and monsters
Wow, guys. Heck yes.
Thank you.
Well, I have to agree. Victoria, I think you made that song.
Thank you very much.
You know, what I noticed about it, Luke, and I don't know what you feel, but you almost didn't realize that there were keys in that song until all of a sudden it was just, then you could not hear it.
Yeah, you would you'd miss them if they were gone.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
It's,
and
an
I
integral
love
part.
that.
Thank you.
And I think that's the whole song too. You know, what I really noticed about it was that there's a lot of space in that song that's not filled with noise. You know, like I think a lot of bands just fill space with noise.
Cram more and more and more and more.
Get all the
That song
noodles.
had a lot of negative space that really, I enjoyed it. Almost
Thank you.
minimalist in a sense that it's like, you don't have to be playing a note every single second of the song.
I think it breathes really
It
well.
does,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like having more members and more sound and just, a broader swath of what you can do really also helps that, because like with a 3-piece or a 4-piece, like what I've been in those before, and, you feel very much pressured to, always have, someone always has to be going at any given time. There isn't really enough other instruments to make noise to
Sure.
block that space. And it's really just adds, just a whole nother level to it. Having that synth that, like you said, it's not necessarily just right there, but you would notice it in a heartbeat if it was gone. And it just,
yeah.
and, having heard all these songs without it, it really just, I couldn't possibly go
definitely
back and
missing
listen to
piece.
them
There's
any other way.
a texture and a fullness that
It's
it that
absolutely
it
a
offers.
texture.
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing about playing synth and guitar, and like, I try to create synth sounds that can serve as that just kind of low end texture. But then when there's a chance for it to kind of come out and play a melody and add to what the bass is doing or the guitar is doing or the vocals are doing. Sorry, drums don't have a melody, but
That's a lie, but we'll talk about that.
okay,
later.
this is a discussion for later.
Yeah, you
I
tune
just
up
mean
that
like
snare.
yeah,
I do. I go right for the D.
drummers out here.
I did
tuning the
notice
snare
that that's
to
a
it.
different drum sound for you, though. That's not
bit.
your typical drum sound, the tones. Did you have some input on that?
I just kind of tuned them as best I could. Got them in the ballpark of where I was thinking with the sound. I just let Catlet run and do
He
his
hits
thing.
them
on it.
harder than anybody else.
Absolutely.
On the
Oh
planet.
yeah, I don't.
You can ask Luke about that.
Oh yeah.
I've abused Luke's drums. I'm still sorry.
They're still sore.
I'm still sorry.
Well, I just noticed, and I have your guys' first album, and I've got some actual recordings of Nathan doing drums, and I know you've got a recognizable drum sound, and I think that's about as good a compliment as anybody can give
definitely.
you.
Thank you.
And I just noticed it was a little different this time, and I don't know how to put my finger on it, but
Big steel. Was it steel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say
Twanging.
it's a big Tama steel snare, 14 by. I think I got the 6.5 model.
Nice.
yeah, I love a good snare.
I love a banging snare like that.
Yeah,
But it
really
just
snaps.
got that
A lot of-
twang to it.
A lot of that sound is coming from knowing not just how to hit, but how to tune them too.
Right.
Sure,
Especially the snare is really important
absolutely.
to a sound.
Think how many times you hear a snare in a song.
About every 2 to 4 beats.
Yeah.
That's right. Just right there.
So Blake, what do you think? What's different now than when you started 3 years ago?
Oh man, everything, dude. I mean, just from listening to our first album, I mean, we recorded that in my basement with a friend, and I
Right.
mean, just from what you heard, I mean, there's a recognizable difference, and this is the best group of people I've ever personally played with all together as well. And I mean, we're just like a big old happy family, so everything just meshes, and it's definitely coming out in the music as well.
So if you were to start tomorrow with this, not having the experiences from that, what would you have changed from the beginning?
Oh man, I don't know. Probably nothing right now. I think it's working.
The experiences that you got through are getting you to where you're at right now.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
absolutely.
I think we're doing something all right.
It's part of paying your dues.
It is part of paying your dues. Yeah. I know that better than anyone. I think we've been through 6 or 7 bass players and 9 drummers and only 1 lead singer, though.
I'm sorry.
And they've all been learning experiences, the different
absolutely.
members, and it really helps you figure out what you want to from the
Sure.
other members as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was doing for pretty much everything when I first started the band, and from buying the van, making our T-shirts, everything, and it was almost overwhelming after doing it for a few years. I make jewelry boxes with our logos on them and everything else.
Another cool little story. Blake Cody was the one that made the first Tequila Ridge shirts.
Yeah.
We don't use him anymore.
I think I have one of those. Does it have like foil on it? Was it like metallic?
It was like a metallic
Yeah,
foil
I've still
vinyl.
got one of them.
Yeah, those are the first ones we had made. Blake made those for us.
That was
I got a
just
Yellow
another-
King shirt from that batch.
Yeah.
I had to sell my Yellow King shirt. So I did, man.
Yeah, but,
it
like-
caused a big Facebook uproar too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys knew it or not, but I lost like 100 pounds,
Yeah.
and
You're looking great,
and
dude.
so all my 3X stuff I had to get out of my house, or otherwise I was headed for pizza.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so I took them all to the Goodwill, and then it wasn't 12 hours. And somebody gets on Facebook.
I
It's
remember
like,
that.
somebody has pissed the local band scene off because there's like Yellow King, Tequila Ridge, John Wilson's Way. I mean, I had a ton of band shirts, and yeah.
Oh,
and
that would be
Yellow,
so cool. I go to Goodwill like multiple times a week. I would be so awesome to go in and see a Yellow.
I think she bought most of them. I mean, I think she bought most of them because I had to get rid of it. I thought about making a quilt because I took in home ec when I was in high school, learned how to make a quilt. So I thought about making a quilt, but I was like, nah, I just need to get rid of them.
Well, we'll have to get you one of the new T-shirts.
Yeah,
then.
I'd love
for
that.
sure.
Heck yeah. So, tell me what all this record deal ensues here. I mean,
You don't hear of a lot of
yeah,
record deals anymore.
Yeah, really, you don't.
So what makes Yellow King the mighty Yellow King with a record deal
Yeah.
here in town?
A piece of paper and a pen, I guess.
A couple of dudes who are looking to lose some money.
Sorry, Kenny and Jason.
Hell, I should have got in on that. I love losing money.
But what to your question? Are you asking more?
What
like,
all
what
does it
is-
entail? I mean, what's the...
Is it still a viable business model? I guess
Sure.
is my question.
Well, I think that the fun thing about it is that it's two heavy hitters of the Wichita scene.
Absolutely it is.
Kenny Ballinger of Fine Swine Records and the Elbow Room,
Elbow
and now
Room,
Barleycorns. And thank you. And
Trying to help.
in stereo. Jason Catlett of Magnitude Creative, and just about like every band you can possibly imagine. And so we're all kind of starting this thing together because it's been a dream of everyone's for so long to us to be a labeled artist and them to have their own label. So we're we kind of kept it simple with this. I won't go into a whole lot of the terms, I guess, but it's pretty much it's a recording contract, to record the album and for promotion on the album, and it's lasts for 1 year from when the album drops. We'll be under them, and so I think that they'll be, I don't know exactly what the terms will be, but there'll be some promotion.
They help you with promotion.
Yeah.
They're probably helping
And
you
distribution.
and distribution.
Distribution.
They probably helped you with the recording aspect, of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely.
Or
And
CDs, merch.
of course they're going to help you with the venue.
Yeah, they're gonna put
know
on
a
the
guy.
venue. They're
That's
putting on,
convenient.
they're kind of the masterminds behind the whole album release party that we're doing on Saturday. It's where we're gonna have a bunch of our friends be there. And
Who are some of the bands you guys have?
we've got Contagious Wednesday is on there. Suddenly Awake.
Lightner,
Lightner. Our
Ghost Town Strays.
and
You're welcome.
yeah, that's who's going to be on it, and then we'll be headlining the show. And the idea that they had was that it'll be $10 at the door, but everyone
Still cheap.
Yeah.
well
Five-
and
five
and
bands.
For 5 bands.
yeah, five
Yeah.
bands, and you get to leave the whole reason that we're doing the party is because you walk in and pay that $10 cover, and you're walking out with a copy of the new album.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even more awesome because albums, CDs sell for $10.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
any merch table you see, it's going to be $10.
So you're pretty much
Unless
just
it
showing up
sucks
and
and
seeing
it's
it live for
12.
free, and then you get to go home with a free copy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Well, we're big fans of Ghost Town Strays. We did our first
Love
interview.
them.
We love
on
those
Thursday,
guys.
Thursday with,
Those were our first choice to put on the
yeah
lineup with us.
Tommy's my neighbor.
We didn't
and,
care
Oh, he's so
how
good.
weird that lineup sounded. That's the
Yeah,
one
we
we
had to
did.
get Ghost Town on there.
Well, I'm a big fan of that too, and Blake can tell you. I always try to put 4 or 5 different bands together for my birthday. I mean, there's no 2 different bands than my band and yours.
Right.
You know?
For sure.
And my mom and dad were sitting in the front row when Yellow King walked on stage with their 4 costume
Oh,
changes.
those poor things.
Are you guys still doing costume changes?
I'm gonna try. That was really something that the previous singer Alex did, but part of this, we've got our set is going to be a really cool thing where the first thing we're going to do is play the new album cover to cover, just so that people can get a live experience of just the whole
That's
album.
awesome.
But then we want to do a second part of the set where we kind of do sort of almost like a retrospective of where the band's been and tap back into
Play
kind of
notes, as
just
they say.
some of that old school energy
Sure.
of it. And I know
The
that
light boxes and all
A little
that.
bit glam rock.
glam rock. I know
Yeah.
Alex used to do, I guess, a bunch of costume changes, so I'm going to try and see if I can throw a
In
few
one
in
song, he went through.
Yeah.
Like 4, at
4.
the Halloween show.
Yeah, he had like
It's
Mummy,
really
then it was a
Yeah,
Captain. It was,
Those were
yeah.
some pretty extra shoes to fill.
Oh, I can imagine. And I think
And
you're
we
doing
got we
great.
got a little flack for him wearing the Native American headdress, but that was out
That
of
wasn't
good
my
taste.
favorite look, but
It was out of good taste.
Yeah, it fit the song though.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, Kyle, you and Blake have been in it the longest, founding members.
Yes. a long
Looking
time.
back, what's one of your favorite gigs that you've had with Yellow King?
Oh man,
That's tough. We opened up for One Eye Doll a few times. That's probably one of the first national acts I'd say that we opened for, and that was
that
a
at the
great time. No, that was actually at the Elbow Room.
At the Elbow Room.
Yeah, with One Eye Doll, and she was one of the first national acts to approach us and actually say that she genuinely enjoyed our show and enjoyed our music, and
That's
that
nice.
that was
wasn't
yeah.
an ego booster or anything.
You're right.
I can imagine.
They didn't run with that.
Not at all. And that's the first time when we kind of realized that what we were doing could be something special and that it was unique, not just in the city of Wichita, but even some of these national acts who are touring the country, when they look at you and say, I've never seen anything like that, that was really special.
So, what venues are you looking forward to playing in Victoria?
Oh man, all of them.
Yeah.
I guess not knowing what we're gonna have booked in the future. I guess I don't know, but I've played the Elbow Room and Barleycorns, and I love both of those. I mean,
Me too.
I've always had great experiences there, but I've always been one where I'm down to play wherever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just there to have a good time.
We definitely want to get out of town, too.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys have the van for it still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needs a new fuel pump on it, but
Does it?
something minor.
I know a guy.
I mean, I'd like to play the Cotillion again when we opened up for T95's Not So Silent Night a few years
Yeah.
back. We opened up for Pop Evil,
Oh,
so that's definitely
Haven't
on my
played that.
to-do list.
Yeah. Well, Hell Yeah's coming.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they had any support that I saw on the announcement. So you guys might be reaching out. That'd be a good show.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We'll have to talk to the label about that one.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions that I try to ask all the groups that come in. And what do you think of the state of music in Wichita right now?
I don't think it's ever been better, and I think it's grown ever since we've gotten into it, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's tons of people in a bunch of different genres. We were kind of trying to think of similar sounding bands to put together for this show, and
Good luck with that.
yeah, we did. Yeah, that didn't really pan out so well,
Yeah.
but I think that's just part of being in this giant. There's a lot of hip hop artists. There's tons of rock, and there's especially just an incredible amount of amazing metal bands around
Why
town.
is that, Luke? I mean, why do we have so many good metal bands here in
It's a
Wichita?
Midwest thing.
Yeah, it seems
is
to
a
be like a
Midwest thing.
Midwest thing. We're all pissed off and
Angsty. We're angsty.
Angsty,
It's fucking hot
yeah.
out.
The
Yeah,
angst is real.
yeah.
And you-
I don't know, just from my personal experience, when I was a kid, nothing seemed to kind of feel right until I found metal. You know, and it just resonated with my environment. I think the
Yeah.
environment just brings it out for some reason. I didn't, you know, I wasn't in the city. I didn't have, you know, that was the people I was around was pissed off and young too, so they were listening to metal. Just kind of, I guess, where you're at in the world.
I wonder if that's because there's 17 country music stations on the radio.
It drove me the other way. You know?
I'm sure it does. I mean, yeah,
For sure.
I'm a country fan, but you know,
it's the kind of music it's the kind of music that really resonates with a lot of people because a lot of the songs are pulled from feelings that a lot of people have in common. But everybody just kind of feels like I got to be the only person in the world who feels that way.
I agree with this.
There's few things that kind of feel like when you're at a live metal show too, when the kick drum kind of like resets your heartbeat
Like
a
the
little
end
bit.
of the world.
Like, yeah, and there's few experiences that are so like it's emotional, but it's also physical. You know, you have all the sound running through you, and you can literally feel it, and
then you fight people.
It's great.
For fun.
For fun.
Everybody's having a good time.
Exactly. So, what do you think you should change to make the music scene better, John? What do you think needs to change in Wichita?
I was not prepared for that
I
question.
know. I
Good.
once an interview.
I know.
Go to more shows.
I was gonna say, you know, I think that it's just kind of, you know, it's a rough economy, and you know, a lot of people are working long hours and don't have a lot of extra cash, so it's hard to get out to things. But I think that just makes it that much more important, you know, to support local people. And you know, I know that's kind of a cliche answer. You know, also another thing is, I think that Wichita music, there are so many different genres, but I don't feel like as many of them kind of intermingle as I think that they could. You know, I feel like that, you know, there's definitely kind of the whole sort of rock genre, and there's, you know, the bluegrass, and then there's kind of like the folk punk, and there's hip hop, and, you know, a lot of those kind of intermix a little bit, but, you know, I mean, it's a big city, and there's tons of venues out there, and there's just lots of room for collaboration. You know, I grew up in the early 2000s and 90s, so, you know, that was when like everyone was mashing up every genre.
Sure.
I remember there was like a reggae metal band, and there was tons of rap metal bands,
Reggae
and
metal.
you know, that just all kinds of different things. And you know, there's some of that out there now, but I think that anytime you can go across party lines, like you know, I've played a couple of shows, or I've sat in with Dusty Grant on a couple of his shows, and kind of just tried to do that. So I think that,
which is awesome,
just getting
by the
more
way.
people involved, getting newer fans involved, and you know, just kind of, you know,
Cross-pollinating.
I think is a good thing.
I've done that quite a bit myself. A lot of people knew me, I guess, first as a rock drummer with Sugarfinger, but then I got a big metal reputation. Like, a lot of people knew me as a metal drummer. I'm just a drummer, but I think I kind of surprised some people, because I'll come into open jams and do like blues and country and stuff, and I'll jam with Tequila Ridge on occasion.
Not enough occasions.
I think
I'll say
that's kind of a thing that's like another thing.
You're trying to steal our
kind of what
drummer?
John's going on is that. I mean, they pay.
We've got you down in writing, my friend.
Yeah, you got me pretty tied down. But I'd say that's kind of what John's touching on, is you got to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
I
agree.
That's another thing that
I
really
think that's the
improve it.
best thing about the jams too, is that, you know, you get to hear so many different kinds of music, and you know, you have to. I have the highest respect for these guys that are in jam bands, man, because
they can play everything,
play anything. Yeah, and Dan Carmichael is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to stump that dude. You know, it's just hard to stump him. You know, and
Mike Peltzer too.
Mike Peltzer.
Oh,
my
Mike
goodness.
Peltzer.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to have Mike
That
Peltzer
dude.
with us for a while. Yeah,
Like, this band could be a jam band if we wanted to, but
yeah.
yeah, just because a lot of times when you know, when the pressure isn't on to write a brand new album from scratch, the jams, it's much like, you know, an open.
we just sit down, and Blake would sit and noodle or play with his delay pedal or something, and then I'd just start jamming, and then Kyle would join, and that's how we got.
That's great.
That's how we got a few songs, honestly.
Yeah.
Like we have a song on the record called "Runaway, Scarecrow." That's basically how that happened. Blake's just sitting there doing a little thing with his delay pedal on his guitar, and then I start jamming, and then Kyle joined, and Next thing we know, that's the song. Right
That's
there.
one of the things that I appreciate most about Blake, though, is he tends to think outside the box when playing the guitar. You know, different effects and different tools with your guitar. Don't you have an EBow? Did you used to have an EBow?
Oh yeah, the one that you let me borrow.
Yeah.
Still got on top of
Well,
my
yeah,
amp.
I guess I did.
Yeah, you did.
I
You
didn't
gave
think about
actually-
that.
Yeah, what do you think, Glenn?
That's a real
You
bow.
still got that? You
By
still
the
got
way-
Evo?
No,
Did you bring it out, dude?
Evo?
he actually, the reason I didn't remember that is because he asked for one. It wasn't like it was my idea. Say, here, you can have it. You know, he asked if I had one, and I gave it to him, and I forgot until just now.
I didn't even know you played violin until
yeah.
we're just making small talk.
Yeah, it's
Are you-
probably the thing I play the best.
Then I actually
Violin
used
or
that
the
on-
fiddle?
Well, depends on what song we're playing.
It's a both. It's the fiddle.
Yeah, so it's well, you know, one of the things I definitely wanted to ask you guys about, you know, is the record recording deal, and I think you guys have hitched your wagon to the right person, especially if you want to start diversifying music in Wichita, because Kenny Ballinger does it the best.
He is the face of.
He's the overlord.
He definitely gets different groups together, and he takes chances on groups too.
For sure.
You know?
Oh,
and-
he does that and somehow has the reputation for being just this hardcore biker metal guy, but he's literally booking country and rap and, and acoustic and everything.
Yeah,
it's
really
nuts.
It is. It's crazy.
The weirdos in face paint.
Yeah, the really sweaty weirdos screaming for some reason.
I think that from what you were telling me, it was either Kenny or Jason was the reason that, like, you guys even asked me to be in the band.
Yeah, I mean, Jason actually mentioned John when we were looking for a new singer, and Jason Catlett brought up John's name, and we knew each other on social media prior, but never actually met, and I've listened to some of
I
his
didn't get a tryout.
We put it out there, Glenn.
No, I think it's a good fit, John. I was impressed the first time I heard you after you came on, and I think I've seen a couple shows with you now, and I'm impressed.
I appreciate that,
especially since it's not my genre of music that I typically listen to.
Mm-hmm. Well,
know,
those are the compliments that mean the most to me. Is, you know,
somebody
I
who's
mean,
not in on it.
it's easy to play to your bass, but I love, you know, when people will come up to me like after a show, you know, and they'll be like, hey, you know, my friend drugged me here, or my cousin is in one of the other bands, and they'll be like, this is not my genre at all, but I really enjoyed what you guys did. And
well, I appreciate musicians, and that's
definitely,
there's no question that the 5 people in this room are musicians. There's actually 6, but I was talking about these 5.
You count too, Glenn.
You guys are definitely musicians, and it's a testament to how well the album comes out. So, you know, and I know Luke can attest too, because he's worked with you guys here at Red Cat.
we actually did do some of the introductory song on the new album was actually recorded by me and Luke here at Red Cat.
Nice.
For
Before
one
the
case
label.
of beer. that was my record contract.
He regretted that so much. That was.
I drank that whole beer though. That whole case.
I
don't think it was that night.
It was just an afternoon. It was before the label had started, but you know, it just kind of set the tone for where we wanted to go. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, we definitely loved working with Magnitude and recording that, but you know, we wanted to make sure that was part of this album
It's
as
pretty
well.
history too.
Yeah.
Well, and it was just such a fun day too. Like, you know,
That
I just
track
came
is
in
so
and.
cool.
You know, explained to him just vaguely what, like, the concept I was going for, and we were just kind of like, let's just get really weird with it.
I was like throat singing, huh?
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
just
start. Who knew what a throat singer you are?
yeah,
It's
just like
literally the best introduction for the album.
just like 80 tracks of like like layered over each other.
Still one of the biggest projects I've had, even with full, you know, band production stuff. You know, some of the tracks can be, you know, 50 or 60 tracks pretty easy. I think that one was over that.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how many it was, but at the time it was one of my biggest projects.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's kind of inspirational to see that, you know, you guys recorded the majority of your album or all of your album at Magnitude, with you know, with the exception of what you're talking about here. But there's no hate between Magnitude and Red Cat. You know, I know that.
Oh, I've known Jason a long time.
Yeah, and I think that's indicative of our music culture here in Wichita.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, it's
Very
like
much. It's not a lot
there's
of,
room
not a lot
for
of people
everybody.
spitting on each other.
All
It's really nice.
studios share clients. We all share clients. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
And everyone's just super supportive of each other, and that's great.
We, you know, the more successful you guys are in Yellow King, the more successful other bands are.
Right,
And
exactly.
that's just a bottom line of it.
Exactly.
The more successful that the music community is, the more successful we're all. You know, because it's just like you said, and just like I say at every show, on every podcast, go to shows. You know, that's what it is.
Go to shows.
That's right.
Well, I think there's a little bit of competition like involved, like a healthy amount of that. You know, like everyone wants to be. You know, we want to be, you know, one of the best acts in Wichita. But,
Sure.
you know, I mean, it's about keeping that in a collaborative. You know, you should be good enough on your own to win the competition without having to
stepping on
sabotage,
somebody,
or you know, you shouldn't have to
it shouldn't be
cut
a
down
contest.
other people to win.
Exactly. I think if the driver's license bureau was privatized and competitive, you'd see a lot faster turn times, and the competition breeds excellence. It
iron
really does.
sharpens iron.
Yeah, it sure does. So the better you're playing against, the better you become. So, well, guys, that does this for us today on another Thirsty Thursday podcast. So happy to have Yellow King here in the studio with us. It was a great interview.
We've had a
guys.
great
You guys-
time.
Thank you for having us.
Man.
That was easy.
Again, when's the big
When's the
release
big
show?
release?
I wasn't paying
it's-
attention.
It's July 20th, this Saturday at the Elbow Room. Doors open at 7. The show starts at 9, I believe, with Contagious Wednesday. And then, it's...
No, I think it's
No.
Suddenly Awake starting.
Yeah.
Or it's Suddenly Wake. You're right. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a surprise.
Doesn't matter.
for
Get
all
there
We're not
early.
headlining. We're gonna take up an hour in the middle of the whole thing.
We'll be headline. We're going through. We're doing a bunch of new stuff. New stage gear. We're gonna have a bunch of new merch available. Everyone, like I said, everyone gets a cop that comes to the show and pays their cover. Leaves with a copy of the new CD, Cracked Earth, from
Which
Fine
drops
Swine Records.
July 19th.
Record at Magnitude Creative.
So that's going to be available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify,
Everywhere.
Ashley Madison, all that.
Especially.
Yeah, it drops actually Friday, the 19th, but then the release show will be immediately following.
Great.
And you'll want a physical copy of the CD because
Sure.
the art's
We put a lot of
phenomenal.
artwork in the back.
So you
Box
have
Yeah,
24
that's-
hours to learn the lyrics, and then you come to the
Then
show.
you can come to the show.
Yeah.
So you can
Exactly.
sing along
Great.
with us.
Oh, I insist on audience participation.
Great. Well, they're going to like it or not. They're going to do the audience participation, and so.
And we have a new cover song we're going to debut too, just
Really?
for fun.
That's
So
awesome.
we'll leave
Yeah.
that a
We do
big
those
surprise.
Good. It's country, right?
Oh, of course.
I think we're doing George Strait.
some Brad
Straight.
Yeah,
Paisley.
that sounds all right.
George Michael.
Maybe some
No,
Brooks
George
and Dunn.
Jones.
Ooh. Yeah, let's do Brooks and Dunn, guys. I'm not even kidding.
Well, guys, you're listening to us on ICT-radio.com. We sure appreciate you tuning in to us on your favorite podcast app. Make sure you give us a like on Facebook. Go ahead and give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. But most importantly, just tell a friend to listen to it. Thank you, Yellow King. We sure appreciate you guys coming in today.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Thank
almost
you,
said
Luke.
yellowfish, didn't you?
I was going to do it on purpose.
You choked.
Yellowfish. Thank you, Luke. We love
Thank
you.
you, Glenn. All right. Thank you, Yellow King. Appreciate it.
Recorded live at Red Cat Recording, Peck, Kansas. Hosted by Glenn Shipman. Check out redcatrecording.com. Special thanks to Yellow King. Find them at facebook.com/YellowKing316. Adios.
All right, well, there you have it. Once again, thank you to Luke from Red Cat Recording and Glenn from, well, pretty much everywhere. He's just all around.
He does a lot.
Glenn Shipman. He's business owner. He's in a band. Ships Custom Tees. I'll plug him there. I guess I say he's a business owner. Might as well plug his business. But at any rate, yeah.
Fucking sound guy.
Fucking auctioneer.
Apparently a fiddle player. I don't know. Lots.
I think he roofs houses in the in his
Right.
off time. I think
Dude.
yeah. No, I don't know.
Scuba instructor.
Yes. Fucking runs a tree farm.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I think he was an all-pro lacrosse player back in
That sounds
college.
right. That sounds pretty accurate, actually.
Back in college, he was an all-pro lacrosse player.
He's got that. He's got
He
that Build man.
He would have been professional, but he blew his knee out his first year in lacrosse, so in the pros. So
Right. Fucking run you over, man.
anyway. See, we can make shit up too, Glenn.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, thank you to those guys so much for doing what you do and helping us out and making it sound good as usual. So,
Derek, we want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in, all our subscribers. We like you a lot more, but we'd like you. If you're not a subscriber, we'd like you to subscribe
and go give us some likes.
Full club. Yeah.
Follow, rate us 5 stars if you could.
Yeah.
Do anything you can to help us out, man. We try our best. I guess you don't have to rate us 5 stars, but
you have to subscribe. That's not an option.
Yeah,
do
that, or we'll fucking find you.
We're gonna get like -5 subscribers. They ain't gonna tell me what to do.
Just lost all our listeners, but
damn it.
Anyway, yeah, we want to thank our sponsors.
Yeah,
Top Shop Paint Repair.
Yeah.
So go check them out on Facebook. Go check them out. Well, you just walk in. What's the address down there?
423 South St. Francis.
Go see them and go see Alpha Heating and Air.
Yep.
If such an occurrence arises where you need heating and air servicing,
which everybody fucking does.
Yeah, you do.
At some point.
You do. And then the Wichita Taco Fest.
Yeah, get your tacos.
We want to thank them and be on the lookout because we're giving stuff away.
Yep.
We're giving tickets. Fucking giving you free tacos. Well, free tickets to get in there. And then after that, it's one measly $1.
Measly
$1. But anyway, be on the lookout for tickets for that. We are giving them away. It's going to be a good time. So,
yeah.
I think with that being said,
who are we going to leave them with, Derek?
Gravity Waves, this badass little new band I'd like to get a hold of and talk to. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, I had never heard of them. I must have missed them through the emails or something. And you mentioned them, and I was like, man, what is this? And we started listening to it together, and definitely.
You hang on to your ass because you will hear a bass line in there that's going to make you fucking want to shake it right off your body.
Right.
Bass line's fucking bad to the bone. I like it. So without further ado and my shenanigans, here is Gravity Waves and Nothing.
Enjoy.
Later.